Let me give you an honest picture of what it's really like to live in Zichron Yaakov as an Anglo immigrant. Zichron Yaakov, often just called Zichron, is one of Israel's most beautiful and distinctive small towns. Founded in 1882 as one of the first Jewish agricultural settlements during the First Aliyah, this historic town of about 24,000 residents sits atop Mount Carmel overlooking the Mediterranean Sea and the coastal plain, about 35 kilometers south of Haifa. Unlike Modi'in's suburban sprawl, Tel Aviv's urban intensity, or Jerusalem's religious weight, Zichron is fundamentally about quality of life, natural beauty, wine culture, artistic community, historical charm, and Mediterranean small-town living. Think Napa Valley meets European hilltop village, transplanted to Israel. The town has preserved its historical character with beautiful stone buildings lining the main street, Hamayazdim Street, surrounded by vineyards, nature reserves, and stunning views. It's become increasingly popular with artists, writers, winemakers, retirees, and families seeking refuge from Israel's chaotic cities. Zichron has a modest but increasing Anglo presence, estimated at 5 to 10% of the population, roughly 1,200 to 2,400 people, concentrated in specific neighborhoods and demographics. The largest Anglo group is retirees and empty nesters in their 50s through 70s, often retired or semi-retired, drawn by beauty, slower pace, and culture. They can afford property after selling homes elsewhere and are seeking quality of life over career. A growing group consists of lifestyle migrants in their 40s and 50s working remotely or semi-retired, artists, writers, designers, consultants prioritizing beauty and pace over income maximization, and attracted to wine, food culture, and artistic community. There's a smaller group of young families in their 30s and 40s, with young children, where often one spouse commutes to Haifa or Tel Aviv, seeking nature and space for children and willing to trade convenience for quality of life. Zichron doesn't have distinct Anglo neighborhoods like Modi'in or Jerusalem. Instead, Anglos are dispersed throughout town but concentrate in central Zichron near Hamayazdim Street, in the historic center, walking distance to restaurants and culture, attracting retirees and lifestyle migrants. New neighborhoods in the eastern expansion have newer construction with more families. Some Anglos buy properties in surrounding agricultural areas or nearby moshavim. The Anglo presence is noticeable but not dominant. You'll hear English at cafés and cultural events, but this is still very much an Israeli town, not an Anglo enclave. Zichron has become increasingly expensive as its desirability has grown, but it's still more affordable than Tel Aviv, Herzliya, or central Jerusalem. In central Zichron's historic area, a 3-bedroom apartment costs 3 to 4.5 million shekels, $850,000 to $1.28 million. A 4-bedroom house with garden runs 5 to 8 million shekels. Historic stone houses that are renovated cost 6 to 12 million shekels. In newer neighborhoods, a 4-bedroom house costs 4 to 6.5 million shekels. Zichron has experienced rapid price appreciation in recent years as Israelis discover it, with prices increasing 40 to 60% over the past decade. Zichron's location is both blessing and curse, beautiful and peripheral. To Haifa, the closest city, it's 25 to 35 minutes by car or 40 to 50 minutes by bus with reasonable frequency. Many residents work in Haifa, making this the most viable commute. To Tel Aviv, it's 60 to 80 minutes by car in normal traffic, 90-plus minutes in rush hour. Or you can drive to Binyamina station in 10 minutes and take the train to Tel Aviv in 45 to 55 minutes, making total door-to-door time 80 to 100 minutes. This is brutal for daily commute but manageable for 2 to 3 days per week. To Jerusalem, it's 90 to 110 minutes by car, and very few people make this commute regularly. Local employment is limited but growing, including wine industry with Tishbe Winery and others, tourism and hospitality, small high-tech presence, agriculture, retail and services, education, and healthcare. The reality is that most Anglo professionals either work remotely, which is most common, commute to Haifa, which is manageable, have semi-retired or portfolio careers, have a spouse who commutes while the other works locally or from home, or are retired. Zichron attracts people at life stages where commuting to Tel Aviv daily isn't necessary. This is Zichron's most significant challenge for families. Limited educational options, especially for Anglos. Local schools include several good Israeli public schools with secular and religious options, small classes, which is an advantage of small town, but minimal Anglo presence of 5 to 10% in most schools. The quality is good, but very Israeli, with limited support for new immigrants. Many families send kids to Haifa for high school, which is a 30 to 40-minute commute and is common and manageable. There are no international schools and no elite academic programs like in major cities. For families with school-age children, especially Anglos, Zichron presents difficulties with no Anglo peer support in schools, no international school options, limited Hebrew support for new immigrants, and potentially needing to send kids to Haifa for high school. Zichron is predominantly secular to traditional, about 70% secular or traditional, 25% religious, mostly modern Orthodox, and 5% Haredi. Religious infrastructure includes several synagogues with Orthodox and conservative options, some English-speaking minyanim, kosher restaurants available but limited, and mixed Shabbat atmosphere, with some areas quiet and others active. For observant families, Zichron can work but requires acceptance of smaller religious community, limited kosher dining options, driving to Haifa for certain needs, creating your own religious community, and being comfortable as religious minority. This is where Zichron truly shines. The lifestyle is extraordinary. The small-town rhythm shows quiet, peaceful mornings with cafés filling slowly with regulars, laptop workers, retirees reading newspapers, mothers with young children. The pace is relaxed and people greet each other with genuine community feel. Afternoons are quieter with many working from home and kids playing outside safely. Evenings see Hamayasdim Street come alive with families strolling, couples dining at restaurants, and wine bars filling up. But it's genteel, not wild, with things quieting down by 11 p.m. Weekends have a slower Friday pace with people shopping at local market, Saturday being mixed with some areas quiet for religious families and others active, and people hiking in nearby nature reserves, visiting wineries, or having long lunches. What makes the lifestyle special is the natural beauty everywhere with stunning views of Mediterranean and coastal plain, surrounded by nature reserves like Ramat Hanadiv and Mount Carmel, walking trails accessible from town, green spaces integrated into neighborhoods, and clean air with peaceful atmosphere. The wine country culture includes multiple wineries in and around town, with wine tastings and tours, food and wine pairing culture, agricultural tourism, and a slower, more European pace. There's an artistic community with art galleries on Hamayasdim Street, artists' studios and workshops, cultural events and exhibitions, music performances, and literary culture as writers are attracted to the town. Historical charm pervades with beautiful 19th-century stone architecture, preserved historical buildings, the pedestrian Old Town Center on Hamayasdim Street, a sense of living in history, and museums. The dining scene is excellent for a town of this size with wine bars and cafés, farm-to-table culture, and slower, more leisurely dining than cities emphasizing quality over quantity. Safety and community are exceptional with very low crime, children playing freely in streets, everyone knowing everyone, which is both pro and con, strong sense of community, and neighbors helping neighbors. Proximity to nature provides beach access at Dor Beach 10 to 15 minutes away, hiking trails everywhere, Mount Carmel National Park, birdwatching in Ramat Hanadiv, and outdoor lifestyle year-round. The trade-offs include limited entertainment options with no cinema and limited cultural venues, small-town gossip with everyone knowing your business, less anonymity than cities, fewer dining and shopping options than cities, needing a car for everything, and potentially feeling isolated or boring for some people. Zichron has excellent climate, similar to coastal areas but elevated. Hot summers are cooler than inland due to elevation and breeze. Mild winters have rain. There are 300-plus sunny days annually, with sea breeze moderating temperature, beautiful sunset views, and occasional fog that adds to atmosphere. The elevation provides natural cooling and spectacular views. Healthcare is available locally with clinics from major health funds and basic healthcare available. But for specialists, you need to go to Haifa, 25 minutes away. For major medical centers, Rambam Hospital in Haifa is 30 minutes away. Who can afford Zichron? The economics require being a remote worker or freelancer working for Tel Aviv or international companies remotely and earning city salaries while living in small town, or being retired having sold property elsewhere and bought in Zichron with pension income sufficient for lifestyle, or having dual income with one commuter where one spouse commutes to Haifa or Tel Aviv earning higher salary while the other works locally or from home, or being a business owner with local businesses, wine industry professionals, or tourism-related businesses, or being semi-retired with portfolio careers, having reduced work hours, and prioritizing lifestyle, willing to earn less for better quality of life. Required household income is 35,000 to 50,000 shekels monthly gross for comfortable living, with better lifestyle requiring 50,000 to 70,000 shekels monthly. A monthly budget for family of 4 runs 21,700 to 33,300 shekels, $61.90 to $94.90, which is moderate cost of living, less than Tel Aviv or Herzliya, similar to Modi'in, more than Netanya or RBS. Practical considerations include that a car is absolutely essential with no real public transit within town. Parking is plentiful, unlike cities. You need a car for grocery shopping, beach, hiking, and everything. For shopping, there are local supermarkets and weekly farmers market. That's wonderful, with everything needed available, but less selection than cities. Zichron works ideally for retirees and empty nesters seeking beauty and quality of life, remote workers in high-earning professions, artists, writers, creative professionals prioritizing inspiration over income, families with young children willing to trade convenience for nature, wine and food enthusiasts, nature lovers and outdoor activity enthusiasts, people seeking escape from urban stress, those comfortable in small-town environment, people with financial flexibility from savings, retirement income, or remote high-income jobs, and individuals valuing beauty, culture, and pace over career advancement. This is crucial. Zichron attracts people who've prioritized quality of life over career advancement. Zichron doesn't work for young professionals early in careers needing city exposure, families with school-aged children seeking Anglo peer support, people requiring daily Tel Aviv office presence with brutal commute, those seeking organized Anglo community infrastructure, religious families needing strong religious infrastructure, people who need urban energy and stimulation, those uncomfortable in small-town environments, families on tight budgets where housing is expensive and commuting costly, people without cars or uncomfortable driving, those seeking employment locally with limited options, or anyone needing extensive shopping, entertainment, or cultural variety. Zichron Yaakov is Israel's lifestyle town, the place you move when you've decided that natural beauty, wine country culture, historical charm, and quality of life matter more than career advancement, urban excitement, or community infrastructure. Zichron succeeds at providing stunning natural beauty and views, wine country Mediterranean lifestyle, small-town community and safety, artistic and cultural atmosphere, peaceful slower pace, access to nature and outdoor activities, historical charm and preservation, and escape from urban stress. But it fails at providing career opportunities or high local salaries, large Anglo community with support infrastructure, excellent schools with Anglo peer support, urban excitement and cultural variety, organized activities and entertainment, religious infrastructure for observant families, and convenience and proximity to major cities. The critical question is whether you've reached a life stage where lifestyle quality matters more than career trajectory. If you're 45+ years old, established professionally and can work remotely or semi-retired, financially comfortable, value beauty and culture, enjoy wine and food, love nature and hiking, and seek escape from urban intensity, Zichron is potentially perfect. Zichron is a luxury lifestyle choice for people who've earned the ability to prioritize quality of life. For those at the right stage with right circumstances, it's genuinely wonderful. Living in one of Israel's most beautiful places, surrounded by nature, vineyards, and history, with Mediterranean climate and small-town charm, but it requires accepting significant trade-offs: limited employment, challenging schools, small Anglo community, peripheral location, and need to be self-sufficient without organized support systems.